Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. My name is Maggie Wilson, and I am here to discuss investigating methods of teaching history for high school students that will ignite their passion for learning. The problem that we currently have is the lesson plans are boring, and they're only good for short-term retention, which means that they only retain the information long enough to take the test and pray that they pass it. That puts a lot of undue pressure on them and stress. Um, what we hope to do by conducting this study is maximize their learning potential for every student. Not everybody can be a Hermione Granger, and not everybody can survive this right here. This is what happens when you have this. Traditional methods are not one size fit all, and I get not all teachers are boring like Bueller, or if that's too far back for you, if you're not an 80s kid, Professor Benson, Harry Potter, who puts all of his students to sleep unless they're Hermione Grangers. So the deal is that I feel that learning should be fun. Why not? History lessons need to fit all learning styles. We can do that by exploring how technology brings um, this element to the classroom. You see in this picture right here, you can do virtual tours, mind maps, video games, um, role playing, just collaborative, interacting investigations. So my area that I personally am going to be teaching is high school students age 14 to 18 years. So of course I want to get the insights and their thoughts on traditional versus using various forms of technology to learn history. Now, outside of this, in addition to this little pool right here, I am going to be interviewing or using conversations about, their thoughts on my past clients' thoughts on history. It ranges, it extends to from 19 to 65 years old, and even older than that, but I'm going to put a cap on 65. Let's see. So these questions that I am proposing to use that I want to know is, what makes history boring for them? Now I do have some answers that I can use from past conversations. And then you can also, or I will also be able to gather information by reviewing past and present test results. This means that I can take test results and compare traditional methods to using technology. What type of margin are we working with? What kind of success rate are we dealing with here? So why these tools? Because we can gain insights. Um, so how do you feel about historical sites, and what is similar or different? I can answer this question through interviews, and sure, that might be some, depending on the type of conversation. Am I having a formal or informal? And I find that informal conversations, you actually get a more honest answer. The most honest answer is going to come from field study observations, because you can observe how people interact in areas like right here. I believe this is part of the Makah Reservation, and it's a historical site that has been preserved. that you can go and take a look and learn about the Makah history. You can also use current blogs and articles, which are essentially their online journals, diaries that are going to be pretty honest and straightforward. Now, how might a hands-on learning approach be more engaging? Well, blogs and interviews, like I'd mentioned before, and also women like this right here. This is my great grandma Brown, and this is for her 100th birthday. She lived to be about 101, maybe 102. I can't exactly remember off the top of my head, but she was an amazing woman. I believe I was in my freshman or sophomore year when she had passed. But everybody knows somebody who is older, who has lived history, and she was an amazing woman. And you can learn so much from your elders. And so these are great. They can be more engaging in learning. So you can learn more by asking, if that makes sense. So my locus of control, I want to bring back enthusiasm. With the information that I've gathered, I can use the knowledge to reach my students um, and help them realize their full potential. This right here is my daughter, and this right here is the carousel. And this is relevant to this because this is one of Spokane's historical sites, and it really is it's the heart of downtown Spokane, along with your big huge coliseums. This right here was built in 1909, I believe, and you're able to experience everybody's enthusiasm when they get there. This right here is what I want from my students, the enthusiasm that Lily shows. So I may experience some resistance for change in other educators, people who don't want to have to relearn how to teach, is probably where they're coming from. But I don't know unless I ask, right? So I also will need verbal permissions to use any data that I gather. So this is where we run into ethics. The morals, benefits, is who's it going to benefit? What's the dilemma? The big one here is we don't want to do any harm. This means that I will need to seek permissions for any information that I use from direct quotes. I'm not planning on describing my participants. So if I don't use their name, they will not be able to be identified. Let's see, realistically, to complete this project that I'm proposing will take 1 to 2 weeks to put together a full report. Statement of resources. I will be using literary resources that I've mentioned, data from traditional methods versus data using technology for learning, past interviews, permissions when it is necessary, and I will double check, and field study observations. And I do hope that you take this into deep consideration. Thank you. I look forward to hearing back from you on this matter, and thank you.